The test of loving the elderly seems to be a test that many societies in the world are failing. And here in Kenya, it's one that seems to be a thorn in our flesh. And I'm just not talking about the issues of witch burning and witch hunting in Kilifi and other places. The issue of ageism, because that's what it's called, that is deliberately targeting and hating on our senior population, seems to have infiltrated every level. And whenever you want to discredit someone, either in public service, even in politics, it's usually used as something. That person is too old, that person is this and that. But is it really an issue as a country? Should we be moving in that direction? Because right now we have such a young population, and very soon, someday, this young population will convert to older population. Does it mean then our most skilled, our most experienced members of society are relegated to the corner just because they are quote unquote too old? Welcome to the show. This is Let's Talk Love. I'm seated with Professor Herman Manyora, where we discuss issues of love, family and nation. Prof, what's with the 4 eyes?
Just look a little more beautiful.
Yeah?
A little more handsome, you know. Because I'm handsome, man.
You're looking definitely handsome.
To increase it.
That's a proper Dr. Love look, you know.
Yeah. This now the new Dr. Love.
And Dr. Love. That's what we should expect moving forward.
I think so.
Well, it seems to be a problem now that if you're getting older, if you're getting into your sunset years, even if you have laden with skill and experience that this country needs, people are more intent on attacking you. And we saw that with Raila Odinga's candidacy not once. Is it an issue of not loving our... And if you go to the villages, it's even more rampant.
You know, this is changing society. And as I've said, some of the things we have, challenges we are facing and the problems is because of moving from a tradition we were comfortable with and trying to get into the new tradition.
That too is attached to that.
Yeah, so for example, when you hear people saying so-and-so is too old to be given a job,
Yeah.
what he was given and everybody's up in arms, and then Raila is too old, and so it's born out of, I think, ignorance. But first, it is because the country is suffering such an acute shortage of jobs, unemployment so high. So people think we must apply the issue of age to every available position, which again is wrong. Leadership is different from a job. So it's a question of ignorance. If you look at America, for example, the average age of the leaders and captains of industry, you'll be shocked. There are very many old people who control corporations, big corporations, whose research budget can run Kenya for a number of years, for decades perhaps.
What does it indicate?
Just we don't know. We are confused. We think everything is a job. A position of leadership is not a position of a job. So, head of an organization, minister, principal secretary, president, director, CEO. These are positions of leadership. They are not jobs. They are not managers. A president is not a manager. A governor is not a manager, he's a leader. And those positions, you cannot tie age to them.
Maybe sometimes you can, because you might argue that there are jobs that simply you can't do if you're young. I mean, like the presidency, young people would collapse under the pressure.
There have been young presidents, you know.
How did they perform?
You know, being president is not something you go to school to learn.
No?
Yeah. What makes people get to presidents when they are old? It's because the journey you must travel to stand a chance of becoming president is not a simple journey. You cannot just wake up one day and you are material for president. But young people have taken it.
Without having to travel that journey?
A man of 42, leading the 6th or 7th world economy, world largest economy. Obama wasn't even old when he took over.
But those are democracies that have been...
It's not a question of age. This is what I'm trying to say.
It's not.
And if it is a question of age, age can only apply to a regular job, not a leadership position. So look, the biggest court in the world, I presume, is the United States Supreme Court. People don't retire there, you die.
There's no retirement.
Yeah. You die there, or you become too frail, you just opt out.
There are claims that Biden's mental acuity is winning off.
Well, fine. Americans gave him the job, and look,
They seem to
if
have a
Americans
trust in
can
their...
give Joe Biden, who is older than Raila, a job, then you come here and talk about Raila being too old. It's just that you don't understand how the world is moving. Malaysia had a problem with this prime minister who was taken to court the other day. They had to go and recall their former prime minister. I think Mahathir, whatever his name is. He was 92, 93. Yeah.
Because even in other parts of the world, Prof, some very senior people by age are leading revolutions, like the former Prime Minister of Pakistan, Imran Khan. You see, these are not young people. And the narrative that seems to be being pushed today is that younger people have the energy, have what we need to move forward.
You need that energy. But again, you see, I'm saying let us not confuse leadership with jobs.
It's different.
If you have a big company with a portfolio of, say, 10 billion, 20 billion, like Safaricom, whatever, big billions. The head of that organization of Safaricom is a leader, is not an employee. He didn't come looking for a job. He's come looking for a position of leadership, to offer leadership to Safaricom. But if you are looking for some small junior managers, you have to look at qualification and age. In fact, the young people in this country may be happy to know that the average age now for employability is 27 point something, about 28 years. Anybody beyond that is considered too old to start a job. People will not be employing such a people
for
entry-level jobs. You see, so jobs, let's not confuse jobs.
It's different from leadership.
Now in the community, Kilifi and the rest where people look down upon elders.
Yes.
There's nothing an elder is competing against for you. He's just there, and there are times you'll need his wisdom. And loving our elderly people is a sign of maturity and civilization. We are. Societies will always be measured by how they treat their elderly people. You see, that's what there is.
Interesting.
Very interesting, yeah, because, and like you said, many societies are now aging.
They are.
So we had better begin loving our elders, because we will need that love when we are also old. Unless you want to push us to a point where you push your mother and your father to an, it's called elder people's home. What are they called? Old people's homes.
Nursing homes and stuff like that.
Imagine, you are in Kenya, not in America. Your mother is in Kenya. She's 80 years, 75 years. You think she's such a bother that you pay for her to be in an old people's home.
That way to little
I watched
sisters.
a documentary from some old people's home. I cried.
Are they lonely?
I said. Of a woman saying she was dumped there by her children.
It happens here in Kenya, you know?
Yeah, now it's in Kenya. We have old people's homes in Kenya. Luckily, most of them are run by the Catholic Church, so there's compassion there.
But still, family is lacking.
That thing is now going to pick up, where there's no love for your parents. You see them as a bother,
a burden.
You just want to feed them from wherever you are. That's the best you can do, is to feed them. And at some point, when they become frail, you dispatch them to an old people's home,
waiting for death.
But you must know that what goes round comes round. You also will need that love that you are denying your parents. At some point, you could be frail. You could even need it earlier than you think. You could get yourself in a situation that is worse than the situation of being old. And that's the time you realize, I need my mother's love, I need my father's love, I need my brother's love. Family love should not cease just because some people think you have become too old, or you think some people are too old to deserve care and love and attention. No, that is not good. That's not good. That's not good. And it can be so bad that some countries have had to make laws, to put legislation into place, compelling young people to take care of their young ones. I think it's a bit of China, and I think France or something like that. There was a bad winter in France, I can't remember when. When the winter was done, many people were discovered dead
From freezing outside.
Yeah. Most of them, of course, were elderly. And I think, if I can remember well, recall well, the country tried to put into place some measure that compels you just to know where your parents are.
Sounds like a good law.
Yeah, then it's not, but you don't need laws for this kind of things. I saw some passionate appeal from a member of parliament in Tanzania, saying we should compel our children to take care of us. I don't think you need to do it by legislation. We just need to tell people, the love you are denying your father, you'll need it tomorrow. And you cannot replace love with anything.
Not even money, not even a nursing home?
Yeah, no. Don't go and put up a nice home for your parents in the village and deny them love, and you think that's good enough. No. Love is just that telephone call you make in the evening. Daddy, how are you? Hey. Somebody tells me there's a lot of rain there. How are you coping with the cold? That is all he needs. He may not even need your money. You too will need that call from somebody. Your son will be working in Japan, and you'll need that call.
And that need is bad when it comes?
Your love. Nothing can replace love. Love from family is more important than most of us think. And one of the things that bring people down, especially in old age, is not so much the lack of money. Of course, lack of money also is an issue when you retire. But it's always a feeling of not being loved. You know, being loved is a human need. So the feeling that you are useless, you mean nothing to anybody, that's what finishes most retirees, most pensioners. Not necessarily the money. They may have some little money to pension what, but from morning to evening, nobody bothers with you. Nobody has called you. Even if you live in the same home, in the village, unasikia tu gari in your son is now leaving for work. If he's a teacher in the village, in some place or somewhere. In the evening in the same compound. One day, 1 week, 1 month, in the same compound, that your own son, just to come back to your home, your house. Say, mzee unaendeleaje? The best ones will just ask, is mzee feeding? Yeah. Mnampelekea mzee chakula? Yes.
From a distance?
Yeah. Then after 3 months, they realize they have never even said hi to you. Or they see you walking with your walking stick towards them. Then mzee kachi, let a chai mzee akunywa, and before you finish half a cup, they have left. They are in a hurry. Love is more important among family than financial support. However important financial support, material support is, love supersedes everything else. And for the old people, you see, that's why most Asian countries, most Asian communities, they know that bit. And the family is family. So, somebody like me now at my age, I'm about to stop active work. I'm about to graduate doing those things which my children cannot be doing because they are busy elsewhere. You see, taking children to school, grandchildren to school, walking them, walking their dog, you know, things like those in the home. And soon, kazi yangu itakuwa kukaa tuna grandchildren and great-grandchildren. So that relevance is there. Because these people tend to stay together. But for us, we think we are so modern today that love doesn't matter. Which is wrong, really. And a lot of people who talk about age, they don't understand. And in the areas, I've done some research, areas around Mount Kenya, they are making even worse for old people. Because you are dispossessed when you are alive. Your tea plantation is divided among your boys. Your coffee plantation, initially it was when you come from for payment, coffee payment, they know how much you come with 30,000, they tell you mzee tunakuachia 5,000. Patia mama 5, hiyo 20 later wanagawana wanaenda kunywa pombe. But finally, you subdivide the tea. And so that's why the production is beginning to go down and the quality. Because them they see money, they don't see the care which their father used to give. It's compounded by the fact that women tend to work together with their children
To alienate the man?
without minding about the man. So men really have a problem. And I will urge people, I will urge young people and women, tupatieni love kidogo. Heshimu wazee.
Let's have that discussion on another episode, because it seems it's something you need to talk about. The issue of alienating the man with the son and the mother. All right, folks, thank you for joining us for that quite eye-opening discussion with Prof here. And until I see you next time, my name is Kimadi. This is Let's Talk Love.